Welcome to Purposely Peaceful. I'm your host, Jessica Rivera, a licensed marriage and family therapist and a quantum hypnosis practitioner. This podcast is where real life meets inner peace. You'll get honest conversations, practical tools, and soulful guidance to help you live with more clarity, calm, and purpose. Let's dive in. Hello, in today's episode, I want to talk about something deeply important to me. It's about what it truly means to live a purposely peaceful life. Now, if you've listened to the introduction episode, you probably already got a glimpse of this idea, but today I'm going to dive a little bit deeper. I'm going to expand on why I believe peace isn't just a nice concept, it's essential. Not surface level peace, but deep down, intentional, soul level peace. And let's be real, most of us want to live our best lives. If you're here listening to this, you probably care about your own personal growth, and more than likely, you want to be the most healed version of yourself. You want to operate from a place that feels grounded, calm, and aligned. I get it, me too. But here's what I've learned. You can't really be your best self without having some kind of inner peace. And yet, a lot of the time, we're operating from stress and chaos and emotional overwhelm. I know this because I've lived it. I've seen it in my clients, and I've seen it in my own mirror. When I'm frazzled, overwhelmed, or I'm stretched too thin, I'm not showing up as my best. And part of my personal work, my real raw growth, is learning to take responsibility for those moments. The ones where I lose my cool, I get snappy, or I let something small knock me off balance. And that's where being purposely peaceful comes in. Peace isn't passive. It isn't just some hopeful idea that we hope to get to at one point in our lives. What it really is, it's a practice. And being purposely peaceful doesn't mean that I've reached enlightenment. I'm not floating on a cloud somewhere, immune to life. I'm just a regular human doing the work. It means I've chosen to handle life's curveballs with more awareness, with more calm, and with intention. It means even if I get upset, I don't live there anymore. I don't unpack and stay there and carry it around and live with it. I've learned now, and with practice, I know how to return to myself, to that place inside where I'm okay, where deep down I know all is well. I want to talk about this myth that has affected my life. This idea that if I just do this, then I'll feel better. I used to believe that peace was something I'd find after I did the thing. I finished the degree, got the better job, moved into the new house, took a course, bought the thing. And every time it felt good, but it was only for a little while. It never lasted. This uneasy feeling was still there, lingering under the surface. And because I couldn't sit with the feeling and I didn't know what to do with it, I would sign up for a new course. I would take on a project. I would just add to this infinite to-do list. And if you have a to-do list and yours is anything like mine, it's long, it's never ending, and you seem to always find more things to do and not enough time to get it all done. So essentially, my happiness was tied to this endless to-do list and all these projects and courses and things that I would sign up to do in hopes that I would feel better. Until one day, a mentor said something to me that changed everything. I had this long list of goals, like always, and I was sharing them thinking that maybe someone else hearing me could make better sense of what I was trying to accomplish. And she said, Jessica, you're not looking for relief from finishing the list. You probably don't even know what to call it. What you're actually looking for is inner peace. And in that moment, it hit me hard because she was right. I had no idea that this is the feeling that I was actually seeking. That was my aha moment. I had been chasing for peace in all the wrong places, the external stuff, achievements, doing more. But what I was really looking for couldn't be found out there. And so this became my quest, to do the inner work for me to learn how to get there. And here's the truth. Inner peace isn't something that we're taught, not in school, not even in grad school for therapists. We talk about it, sure, but we don't really know how to live it. And most people find their way to peace not because it was handed to them, but because they got pushed to a breaking point. The stress, the pressure, the spiraling mind, it gets to be too much for a lot of us. And that was me. So I started to intentionally make different choices in my life, in my work, in how I showed up with my family. And that's where everything started to shift. I began to create this ripple effect in my life where my inner peace became a filter for everything, where I considered, how will something affect me? How will it ripple into my marriage, my kids, my work? And I'll tell you this, I don't feel the way that I did 10, 20 years ago. I don't operate from that place of chaos anymore. Sure, I still experience chaos, but I feel like a completely different person because now I operate from peace. And when I don't, I know how to get back there. So let me share with you what blocks our inner peace. First and foremost, an untrained mind. And an untrained mind to me is when you're just going through life on autopilot. You're just doing what you do because you do. There's no management of thought. An untrained mind is like your thoughts have gone wild and they have spiraled and they go wherever they want. And no matter how much you don't like how they might feel, you don't know how to stop them. And so most of us are walking around with our thoughts running wild, not even realizing that we have so much mental noise that we're dealing with. I describe it like this. We've got these two voices in our heads, the ego, which is the critical, fearful, protective voice in our head, and what I call the true self, the part of us that is kind, loving, calm, and wise, and wants what's best for us. You know those old cartoons with the angel and the devil on each shoulder? Yeah, it's kind of like that. We have these two voices sometimes wrestling each other. Most of us live with the ego in the driver's seat because it's the loudest and it's the easiest to hear. Your true self is a little bit more quiet and it needs to be strengthened so that it can challenge your ego. But your true self, that loving, peaceful voice, it's always there. You just have to learn to listen. At first, your ego might be the loudest, and it might take some work for you to start to get it to settle down and quiet down so that you can start to hear your true self. Because if you can tap into your true self, you can tap into that inner peace within you. And the next layer of what blocks us from our inner peace is inner conflict. That's the emotional noise, the tension, and the thoughts that keep pulling you in opposite directions. It's all the stuff that we've absorbed and haven't processed, the wounds, stress, expectations, fears, and beliefs that sometimes don't even belong to us. Over time, what I call emotional buildup. It's where you've collected a lot of things that have happened in life, a lot of thoughts that you hold, a lot of beliefs that you hold, and they start to build up because we don't know what to do with them. We don't know how to process them, and it starts to weigh you down. It begins to cloud your thinking. It colors your relationships. It impacts how you see yourself. It impacts how you feel and how you live your life. And most importantly, it blocks your access to peace. And so when that happens for a lot of people, this is the part where the real work begins. You start to peel back those layers, one belief, one pattern, one emotional reaction at a time. You learn to notice what's not serving you, release what's outdated, and quiet the noise inside of your head. And I'll tell you, it's not always easy, but it is worth it. Because the more layers you release, the clearer you become, the quieter your mind gets, and the easier it is to connect to that peaceful part of you that's always been there. This is the journey to becoming purposely peaceful. And the very first step to becoming purposely peaceful starts with self-awareness. You can't change what you don't notice. Like I said earlier, a lot of us live on autopilot. We wake up, we go through our routine, handle all the things, and go to bed, and we do it all over again the next day, and so on and so on. And we miss the emotional cues that could guide us to healing. So start there. Notice how you feel throughout your day. What triggers your stress? When does your mood shift? What thoughts are playing on in the background as you're doing things? And yeah, I'm going to say it. You should journal. I know. Every therapist says that. But for good reason. Journaling lets you take your feelings off of you and put them somewhere off of you, somewhere safe. Going back every so often and reading what you've written will help you see patterns, and it gives you a place to reflect. So if you do anything after this episode, just start noticing. And as a bonus, write it down. Remember, peace is a choice. Peace isn't something that you wait for. It's not going to arrive when everything finally falls into place. That's just wishful thinking. Becoming purposely peaceful is about living with intention, making choices in your mind and your life that support lasting soul level peace. Not just moments of calm, not just quick fixes, but something so much deeper. As I start to wrap up this first episode, I really hope that you found something here that spoke to you. This is just the tip of the iceberg of all the things that I have to share. Every episode will build on the next. You don't always have to listen to episodes in order for them to make sense, but I do think that it helps because part of what I'm trying to do in the first several episodes is to set a foundation for you to build upon as you do the work towards your purposely peaceful life. And no one else can change your life but you. And so use this as an opportunity to inspire yourself to create that change that you want in your life, because I really do believe that we all deserve to have purposely peaceful lives. Thanks for spending a little time with me today. I hope something here met you right where you are. This podcast is for inspiration only and not a substitute for therapy. Please reach out to a licensed professional if you need support. I'll catch you on the next one.